Please switch off your mic, ladies and gentlemen. Switch off your mic. So there's no audio noise in the background. Halo, Profesor Tengku Zulkarnain. Halo, Prof. Apa kabar, Prof?
Hello.
Nice to meet you, Prof.
Yeah. Okay.
Sorry to disturb your time.
No problem. Thank you.
So, Prof, are you supposed to be teaching at this hour?
No, just doing some other things.
Oh, okay.
I can present for 30 minutes or something. Then we can have Q&A for 30 minutes. I think 1.5 hours it will be.
1.5 hours. So we might be talking for 1 hour, Prof.
More or less.
More or less, yeah.
Minutes.
Okay. Right. So we're still waiting for other students to join in.
All right. So I stay in touch, but I stop the video. Okay, for now. I stop the video for now.
Yeah.
Okay, later on, just let me know when the student already ready for the webinar. Okay. Thank you. All right.
Pak Ade kesiapan? Mana Pak Ade? Berapa?
To the participants, your mic so that there's no background noise. And we are waiting for other participants to join in. So for those who come from outside STAI, yang berasal dari luar STAI, silakan perkenalkan diri Anda di kolom chat. My name is, I am from, bla bla bla. Yang di luar STAI atau di luar prodi pendidikan bahasa Inggris, silakan perkenalkan dirinya di kolom chat sehingga kita bisa saling mengenal. Zulfikar.
I am the chairman of English Department Student Association. In this organization, we have many activities for improving our skill. Those are discussion group, English club, seminars like tuple seminar, and
ULUM Tanjung Pinang, our English Education Study Program, is one of the oldest study programs at STI Miftal ULUM Tanjung Pinang, Riau Islands Province. Gaining its operational permit in 2001, the opening of English Education Study Program exempted catering the needs of the Kepulauan Riau society that lives amongst two international neighboring countries that require qualified English teachers, hospitality workers, and other professions that excel in their expertise. The English Study Program has graduated to over 800 graduates in the last 18 years, with alumni working at various industries and positions. Currently, the English Education Study Program has been nationally accredited. The campus is environmentally strategically located in Kilometer 12 Tanjung Pinang with a greenish view of the surrounding. Equipped with campus library, mosque, parking lot, Wi-Fi, and sport fields, the campus provides students with enjoyable study life balance opportunities.
As the oldest study programs on the islands, we have a vast network of alumni working in various industries. We have alumni working in education sector, tourism sector, government offices, and other occupations. We have lecturers from reputable universities with their own expertise. Our curriculum to serve younger generation for better future.
Hello, my name is Nurul Anwar. I am the chairman of English Department Student Association. In this organization, we have many activities for improving our skill. Those are discussion group, English club, seminars like tuple seminar and interpreting seminar, and sharing session with alumni, culture sharing with Singaporean artists, and then we go to Treasure Bay for learning hospitality industry.
Lulus dari pendidikan bahasa Inggris sebenarnya banyak opsi karir. Tidak hanya sebagai guru mengajar di kelas pada siswa, tapi kita bisa menjadi corporate trainer, perusahaan hospitality atau perhotelan yang menurut saya prospeknya sangat-sangat baik, dan banyak lagi hal-hal yang bisa kita lakukan dengan kemampuan communication skill kita yang membuat kita bisa juga untuk bekerja di luar negeri. Sebelum saya tamat dari prodi ini, saya pernah mengikuti pertukaran pemuda antar negara. Saya dikirim ke Australia untuk belajar lebih mengenai Australia, tentunya juga memperkenalkan budaya Indonesia. Saya bekerja sebagai educator di salah satu perusahaan hospitality industry di Lagoy. Hal yang membuat saya atau kekuatan saya yang membuat saya diterima di perusahaan tersebut adalah communication skill saya, bahasa Inggris saya. Hal itu saya dapat di kampus, di mana ekosistem kampus yang mendukung kita untuk berkomunikasi bahasa Inggris. Jadi ketika ingin mendapatkan peluang karir yang lebih luas, ya, tidak hanya menjadi seorang guru pengajar, tapi kalian bisa kerja di berbagai industri. Kalian bisa mengambil pendidikan bahasa Inggris di Sekolah Tinggi Agama Islam Miftaul Ulum Tanjung Pinang.
Exit. Okay. Hello, Prof. Can we probably start? All right. All right, Prof. Can we probably start?
Okay.
All right.
Thank you.
Let me first introduce yourself first, Prof, about your biography. So, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to our webinar on improving English skill. Selamat datang di webinar kita bertema tentang mengembangkan skill dalam bahasa Inggris. Jadi pada hari ini kita bangga dapat mengundang salah satu guru besar, atau beliau baru saja memperoleh gelar profesor di bidang bahasa Inggris. Beliau merupakan Ketua Prodi Pendidikan Bahasa Inggris dari UIN Araniri, Banda Aceh. Akan saya bacakan sebentar profil beliau. Profesor Dr. Tengku Zulfikar SAG MPD. Beliau adalah salah satu tenaga pendidik dan kebetulan sebagai Kepala Prodi Pendidikan Bahasa Inggris di UIN Araniri, Banda Aceh. Beliau meraih gelar S2-nya dari Ohio University di Ohio, Amerika, di bidang administrasi pendidikan dengan konsentrasi minor di Applied Linguistics di bawah beasiswa Fulbright. Kemudian beliau juga mendapatkan gelar master yang lain dari Monash University Australia melalui beasiswa AusAid. Kemudian beliau fokus penelitiannya antara lain mengenai culture dan pendidikan bahasa Inggris. Oke, I think without further ado, tanpa memperpanjang waktu, mari kita sama-sama mendengarkan materi dari Profesor Tengku Zulfikar SAD MED. Time is yours, Prof.
Okay.
Thank you,
Hello,
Prof.
Assalamualaikum.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Okay, hold on. I can't see.
Waalaikumsalam.
Alright. Silakan hidupkan videonya, teman-teman, para peserta, sehingga kita bisa saling Jadi Prof, peserta kita hari ini ada yang dari bahasa Inggris, ada yang dari prodi lain, kemudian ada juga dari orang awam. Kita open for public. Yeah.
Okay, very good. I think can you let me to share the screen?
Yes, please, sir.
Mungkin
Wait.
you
Make you host ya. Have to make you host ya. Wait. Wait. Make you host. Alright, done.
And you stop your screen sharing.
Oh, all right. Yeah.
Okay, so I can share my screen.
Yeah.
Okay.
Wait. It's a bit complicated. Stop sharing.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
That's great then.
Yeah.
Now I can see it.
Thank you, Prof.
Okay, hello everybody. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Hello, Salam.
Alhamdulillah. First of all, I'd like to thank Pak Taufik, yeah, for inviting me and giving me some time to at least share some ideas on how to improve the language skills. I'm wondering if you can hear my voice very clearly, or is it Pak Taufik and everybody?
It's perfect in my side.
Very good.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. I don't want to spend that much time to present my material. We would like to spend more time on discussing sessions later on. The main focus of my presentation today is regarding improving the language skills, because I believe all of the audience are English students, and I would like to touch upon more focus on listening skills. And I'm sorry, Pak Taufik, because I don't prepare this material for this purpose.
Yeah, no
I
problem.
prepare for the different presentations, and because of some limitations of the time in my part, so I just take that one and then I represent it. So I hope it's applicable to the audience. Yeah. Okay. I would like to focus on listening skills, pretty much on listening skills, because I do believe listening skill gampang-gampang tapi agak susah juga. It's a bit difficult, but then it's a bit easier there because we can improve our listening skills much more easily than other skills. I believe so. Okay, let me share my screen. Okay, screen sharing. Okay. Can you see my screen?
Yep, it's perfect.
Okay. All right. Improving language skills, but I focus on the listening one. Okay. I want to say about what listening is about, why it matters, step in improving listening skills, tool needed, strategies, and some other strategies, and also, this pretty much all about it that I would like to discuss today.
Apa, Prof? Hello? Right. Oh, connection problem. Sorry for the inconvenience, guys. I think Professor Tunku Zulfikar accidentally logged out of the room.
Sorry, Pak Taufik. My connection is a bit difficult.
Oh, I see.
Okay. All right. Where's my screen?
I think you stop sharing it, sir.
Did I start sharing it? Let me host disable participant screen. Can you make me the host again so I can share the screen?
Wait a minute. There you go. Yep.
Okay. Sorry for that.
No problem.
Okay. All right. Sorry for all the audience.
Yeah. We can see the screen.
Okay. All right. Yeah. Why English? I mean, like you, all the students, you take English department as your future career. English teaching or teachers education as your future career. So why English? I mean, the question is why English later on. So we would like to discuss about that. Why English matters. I mean, why do you choose English? Everybody get their own reason for that. In the video before, I heard that some students talking about learning English because they want to become something, so become the teachers, you see. So why are you learning English? Because traveling to the world, school or university. I mean, if you want to go to overseas, you continue to study, like say to Australia or other overseas countries, you need English, all right? And then it's fun. Of course, it's fun. Make new friends, and then improve job and employment opportunities. You can watch movies, make more money. I mean, like and a bit love and romance or something like that. So this is only some reasons people offer us and tell us why we need English. So you as English students, I mean, you need to really ask yourself the questions why you study English. Okay, so you may have different reason from what other people have written here. And then, all right, now improving language competence, some strategies. I think some strategies. Okay, first, love the language, of course. Yeah, when you study in English language department, I mean, you love the language already. But some students, in my experience, some students even they don't want English, they don't like English, but they have to study in English department because the parents are forcing them. And if you, the student, a Taufik student, if your students are having that experience, I mean, coming to English department because of the parents, I think that's the time for them to change their minds, to focus whether they really want English because of they really want it, or because of their parents want them to study in the English language department. And then the other strategy is be consistent. What is consistent here? Consistent mean, yeah, when you study English, you need to have a plan, you need to have a schedule, you need to really focus on what you're going to achieve. That's consistent. Consistent mean every day you need to improve something, improve your listening skill, improve your speaking skill, reading skill, and some other skills. And do not afraid of making mistakes. I mean, like, I don't know about Taufik. In my experience, some students say, "Oh, I don't want to say something in English because I'm afraid of making mistakes." And that's a problem. That's problematic. When you students, you don't really want, you're really afraid of making mistakes, that's the time for you. That's the problem. I mean, you cannot move on because making mistake is a must in language learning. And then learn the language in integrations. What do I mean by learning the language in the integrations? I believe it's better to learn English with the whole subject. I mean, you study grammar there, readings, listenings at one time. I mean, integrated skills, not learning listening only and then reading. I mean, for you, the students, the way you learn the language, for example, take a book, take one English book, English textbook, read the English textbook. You can improve your vocabulary there. You can improve the way you write article from the book, from reading the book. So if you learn English using with the integration, all skill at one or together, so I believe you will improve more. So Pak Taufik, there's a bit information for you that our department here at UIN Araniri, for KKNI, we already use integrated skill. So we don't have mata kuliah namanya speaking atau reading. We have basic language skill, intermediate language skill, and advanced language skills. So
that's the name of the
basic
subject.
Language skill, all the subject, all the skills are there in one subject.
Integrated,
okay.
Yeah?
Integrated. So I don't know if that's what you feel in your own in your department, but in our department here we already starting this coming years. Okay. Alright, yeah, this is some online sources, some good website for learnings. Okay. I do believe some of the students already have these informations on language learning website. ESL goals, I think some of you got understand about ESL goals. And then News in Level, BBC, Talk English, Duolingo. So for the student, I think all the students, you maybe go into ESL Go. This is a very good website, I mean, to learn the language, because they offer you so many materials to learn the language. And then some textbook. I do believe you are familiar with this one, mungkin Pak Taufik and other lecturers in your department. Headway, Interchange.
Some people do it in English courses.
Yeah, so these books are taught in English courses, in kursus bahasa Inggris.
Is it in university settings, sir?
It's actually, when you teach language in integration, I think that is the way that you can take one of the textbook.
I see.
Because this textbook are not specifically published for the English courses.
Yeah.
Jadi buku ini bukan khusus untuk kursus bahasa Inggris.
Yeah, it's
tapi
public
language learning. So,
learning.
But the thing is, most language courses, private language courses, mengambil buku ini.
Yeah, right.
Sedangkan di kampus kita malah tidak mengambil buku ini.
Yeah.
This is all very fantastic book.
I remember one time I've used it. Change. I remember one time using the change book.
In my experience at Ohio program of intensive English at Ohio University, we use this book. I mean, like this is the book not only for kursus, but for everybody who are learning the language.
Because they are integrated, in one.
So maybe you can take this and then give it to your students. And karena di kursus mereka pakai ini kan, justru berarti kalau mereka pakai something good in the book, right? Okay. And I would like to talk a bit about myself, about listening, and then about the tools needed, and about strategies. I mean, why I always talk about myself? Because I learn something from other people, and I hope other people can learn something from me as well. Okay, listening. So just a very brief introduction by Taufik and all the students here. I graduated from UIN Araniri Bahasa Inggris in 1999.
Wow.
I started in 1995. And then I studied I get my master at Monash using outside scholarship in 2002, and then I got another scholarship for my other masters using Fulbright at Ohio in 2004. Then I got scholarship for my PhD at Monash University in 2007. So all of those opportunities starting with the language. If I can tell the students, if you really love English, stay in the English department, focus yourself and improve your skills. Because I do believe all of you studying in the English department, you plan to study somewhere overseas. At least that in your mind. I don't recommend my students here to, when they graduate, they just go to master degree somewhere in Indonesia. I want them to prepare themselves to apply for scholarship. And if they fail, then maybe the last resort, they need to go to some universities here in Indonesia. I don't underestimate the Indonesian academic standard, but if you study overseas, you got some other experience and you broaden your horizons and you know more. You get more experience. Okay, and in my experience about listening, my first difficulty is understanding, differentiating the voice, the sound of the word. That one. And the second one is the accent, the intonation, that what make us sometimes miss the context. When the native speaker, they talk in the combined thing, the combined word, then it's very difficult for us to understand. Okay, let's see. Listening is an art that requires attention over talent, spirit over ego, other over self. What does it mean here? Listening actually is not about talent. You don't say, oh, saya dapat listening C, D, karena saya nak punya talenta. No. Listening is not about talent. You don't require talents to be able to improve your listening skill. Listening is an art where you need to focus attention. You need to pay attention. Jadi jangan ambil alasan, oh listening saya dapat C, Pak, karena memang saya nggak ada talenta di situ. No, you don't have that excuse because you don't need the talent for listening skill. Maybe for writing, yes. Yeah, writings, maybe you need some talent there. Okay, and also spirit, you need spirit, and you need others, you need friends. Yeah, you need someone to help you with the listening. Okay. Okay, and remember this, listening. Every good conversation starts with good listening. Right. Remember, all the students, ada dua domain in productive skill and receptive skills. Productive skill is, what is that? What something you produce. Yeah. The listening, your receptive skill, you receive. Reading, you receive. Writing, you produce. Speaking, you produce, right? So listening always related to speaking. The better you listen, the better you speak, or the better you speak, the better you listen. If you know how people talk, then you have some ideas how to talk yourself. While writing is related to reading. If the more you read, the better you write. If you cannot write, if you don't have any ideas what to write, and to get the ideas is through reading, right? So they are always integrated in skill. So that's why I really require someone to have integrated language skills, learning strategies. Learning. Okay. Okay. Reflecting on my previous strategies. Okay. Let me see this one. These are all my failure, my difficulties in listening. Failure to differentiate sound, failure to comprehend pronunciation, failure to comprehend the text, the context, failure to understand intonation and accent, did not feel at ease, lack of vocabulary. I don't know if you students, you can list later on, list what's your difficulties in listening. You can apply this also to readings to other skills. What's your difficulties with those skills? And then you can list it, and then you can really get the solution for that. Say, for example, what is the solution for difficulties in differentiating the sound? Difficulties in comprehending the pronunciation, the difficulties in comprehending the context. What solution for your failure in understanding intonation and accent and some other issues that you may face? Okay, and then things I couldn't forget. Don't forget sound differentiation. If you are able to differentiate sound, then you are able to avoid misunderstanding in conversation. Then you're already able to get some ideas. I mean, in TOEFL test, what are your difficulties? Some people may say listening. Why? Because listening, they only talk once and no repetitions. Also in IELTS test as well. What's your difficulties? Also listening. So if you fail to focus and to watch on the context, to concentrate with the context, then you will lose, right? And then, yeah, context. So that's why listening is listening comprehensions, we call it. Why? As long as you comprehend, then you will be able to understand what the talk is about in the listening sections of the test, for example. Okay, and then move on, practicing and take note. While practicing, student may also take note, not in detail though, I can see. All right, three most important things. Okay. Okay, this one. Three most important things if you are taking listening test or if you want to improve your listening skill. Being relaxed. Okay. When you take the listening skill, you need to please be relaxed and do not panic, right? And practicing is always, you can practice listening anytime, in every place, because practicing listening is one of the easiest skill that you can practice in much of the times, rather than say, for example, writing or reading or speaking. Okay, and then when you are relaxed and keep practicing, you are ready to get a good answer. All right, and then yeah. You can see if when you take listening test, for example, in TOEFL or IELTS, there is also pictures for the IELTS. Yeah. Then you say a picture is worth 1,000 words, figuring out the meaning of the context through pictures. So one key to be able to understand the listening skill, the listening test, for example, is through understanding the context. Okay. Number two, learning strategies. Okay, some important strategies in improving listening skill. Let me see. One, be focused and committed. Okay, focused and committed. Some strategies, let's see, some alternative strategies. Okay, this one, be attentive but relax. Try to feel what the speakers are feeling. Listen to the word and guess. Pay attention to non-verbal words. Okay. This also apply when you really meet people, discuss with people with native speaker. For example, when you study overseas, you will see, you will guess from the non-verbal words, or you will guess the word. I mean, listen to the word and guess it. I mean, so I don't know if you have experience taking TOEFL test for the students. For I mean, how many times you have taken TOEFL test? I think these strategies can be applied in taking the TOEFL test. I mean, you try to guess the word from the context, try to feel what the speakers are feeling, pay attention to non-verbal words, and also be attentive but relaxed. I mean, like, because in TOEFL test or in IELTS, the listening skills is tested in the very first section, right? Mm. So when you don't feel good answering this first section, it will affect to the rest of the section. So please pay attention on listening, but try to be relaxed. Yeah, and then you can make the schedule to improve your listening. Do something every day. with the listening, do something different every day. Okay, how can you improve your listening skill? So many issues that you can do. I would like to tell later on. Okay, ini ada berapa? Okay, see. All right. Plan your day, make scheduling, focus, find materials, plan your work, consistent. I said sorry, the wrong spelling. Consistent. Plan your day. You need to make a plan. So, for example, we as English students, you don't really come to the classroom only learn the language in the classroom when the lecturers are teaching, but you need to plan the day, what you're going to study. You make the schedule yourself. You need to focus. You need to find material yourself. So many materials, so many resources available online at the moment that you can improve your own skill. See, and then exploring the materials. You make Googling, explore through the Google, special engines, use a special engine like I give you some early on. Select the best fit material that fit your own skills, and also being selective, measure your competence. I mean, like if you choose your own material, you need to really pay attention on your own level of skills. Sometimes the materials are too much for you, too difficult. You need to choose a good one. You need to choose the much more appropriate material for your own skills. So you the one who can what we call it, measure your own skill. Jadi Anda sendiri yang bisa menentukan skill apa sih yang Anda level apa, apakah Anda intermediate, advanced level, basic elementary level. So kalau Anda tahu your own level, maka Anda akan gampang mencari materi untuk Anda pelajari sendiri. Okay, let's see some percentage. Podcast, need some other materials. Go to Google, YouTube, find podcasts. You can listen to the podcast. And then TV series. There are so many TV series right now that you can use. Use the animated movies, actually. Don't use Hollywood movies. It's difficult to catch the word. I mean, like, jangan nonton film Rambo atau Transformer. Ya, tapi nonton film-film animasi, film animasi yang bahasa Inggris, so it will improve your own skills. Yeah? And then songs, 40% of song, you need to listen to the songs. Yeah, don't always listen to dangdut or Indonesian songs. Sometimes you have to pay attention on listening to English song, because there are research saying that through listening, someone can improve their skills, their listening skill. And then scheduling, Monday, for example, you can listen to the song for Monday. And Tuesday, you can do the podcast. Wednesday, TV series. And then Thursday, practicing test. And then Friday, new release song. Saturday, talk to friends. Do something differently each day. Don't always listen to the song, because it will get you bored. I mean, like, don't always do podcasts or practicing the test, but do some other things every day, but do something every day, but do it differently. Okay? Ini mungkin strategi yang mahasiswa sudah lakukan, tapi perlu diingatkan, mungkin udah lupa, this is the strategy. You cannot just come to the classroom and expecting that bahasa Inggris akan masuk ke otak kita tanpa practicing, right? So ini pasti Pak Taufik beban sebagai ketua prodi pasti terbebani ini membuat mahasiswanya bisa pintar, ya. Alright, the do and the don'ts. Apa yang do-nya? Do not translate when you take the listening test. And then do not just listen. Just listen, do not translate. And then listen to various voices. Kenapa yang nomor 3 yang penting? Listen to various voices. If you friend, teman-teman yang mahasiswa nanti selesai S1 mau lanjut S2 ke luar negeri, and you take to Australia, for example, you are taking the IELTS test, alright? Maka di IELTS test, listeningnya itu it's not only spoken by the native. Yeah, kadang-kadang listening by Japanese, Chinese, some Indian, some Indonesian. So try to listen to various voices so you are familiar with that. Right? So sometimes the way to be able to understand other accents by listening to many voices. Jadi makanya do not translate, just listen. Just as reading comprehension. Remember, don't stop reading when you find difficult word. Because it might be if you continue reading, the other word later on will determine or will define what the text is about. And the same with listening. Don't just pause or stop the cassette or the video or the CD where you feel difficult understanding what the speaker says. But keep continuing sampai Anda you are able to catch the meaning. Yeah. And then why is listening is still challenging then? Kenapa kira-kira still challenging? Yeah, this one the reason, not feeling at ease and missing context of the conversation. Jadi kalau teman-teman nanti ada ambil listening, I don't know ini mahasiswa sudah ambil listening atau belum nih Pak Taufik? Semester berapa nih?
Kalau kami listening sama speaking integrated, sir. Jadi integrated.
It's good. Yeah, that's better. Then.
We have two subjects regarding that. Yeah.
So
basic and
basic and intermediate. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's good.
If I'm mistaken.
Jadi productive skill and
semester 3 and semester 4, if I'm not mistaken.
And they already take the listening test, right? So I hope for those who are not taking the test, the listening subject yet, so maybe this is one of the strategies later on for you to get an A, to dapat A nanti dari Pak Taufik, ya. Okay, it is also a long process and it takes longer time to acquire. You cannot language skill. You cannot acquire language skill. You cannot expect to be able to speak English at once. Like ada mahasiswa hanya 2 semester, 3 semester dah merasa kok nggak bisa, kok nggak nambah bahasa Inggris. No, it takes time.
Takes time, sir.
Sometimes mahasiswa masuk ke bahasa Inggris, 0 bahasa Inggris.
Yeah.
Zero English skills. I can say zero because kemampuannya jauh di bawah level. Sehingga it's very difficult for us kepada ketua prodi atau dosen-dosen di prodi untuk to help all the students to reach similar achievement actually. Yeah. See this best website, some website. Okay. The website-nya. Where's the best website? Okay. Let's see. Turn boring times into interesting time. Yeah, into meaningful. Meaningful activities and listening time. You can listen during apa ini? During housework. Listening is very easy to listen to improve your listening skill actually.
Yeah.
Ambil DVD, you get a smartphone, plug in the earphone, put it there in your ear, and then sambil mengerjakan pekerjaan rumah tangga for the ladies, sambil you ironing, nyetrika, or cooking, you can listen. Maka saya katakan bahwa it's different from improving your reading skill yang harus saya duduk, baca, or writing skill where you have to sit down writing, but listening skill, sambil nyetrika Anda bisa, you can listen, doing the housework. Or driving, you see, while you're driving, you can listen to song, you can listen to podcast, to TED Talk. At the moment, TED Talk is very popular. And then waiting for the bus, for example, going with the bus, doing gyms, olahraga, put something there. So that's why I said, I emphasized earlier, it's much easier to improve your listening skill compared to other skills because you can do it what we call it while you are doing some other activities. All right. Some website, English Central, provide hundreds of good videos, right? And then Allo offer 3,000 free listening activities, and ESL video free quizzes, lesson, and online conversation classes for English language learner. And then 4 screens is a video-based English learning app, and you can have so many of them. Yeah. What if you don't understand, right? Effective communication requires active listening skills. And then the most important things in communication is hearing what is not said. Ya, jadi as I mentioned earlier, untuk meningkatkan listening skill, you need to practice, you need to improve your skill through practicing every day, do something every day, and try to understand the context of listening. Okay. The quieter you become, the more you can hear. What does it mean? Ketika Anda mengambil tes, say for example listening test, TOEFL or IELTS test, you need to really focus, because the focus you are, the more focused you are, the better you will be able to answer the conversation in the listening. Okay. Special advice. Okay. Start small. Listen every day, even if it's just 10 to 15 minutes per day. It's easy, as I mentioned earlier, it's easy for us to improve the listening skill. Listen to something every day, start small, even if just 10 to 15 minutes per day. Yeah. And then make it entertaining, make it fun. I mean, I think it's so fun to study, to improve listening skill rather than others. Writing itu capek kalau menulis ya. Because banyak people complain about how to improve writing skills, right? And then the other advice is you keep listening to things you can easily understand. Although it's easy to understand some video, for example, some talk, try to listen more and more and more. Okay. And then listen to challenging English materials. Listen to the easy one, listen to the challenging one. So you have both easy and challenging. Okay? And then thanks. I mean, like you may have some question later on. There's only some tips and tricks to improve, especially listening skill. I don't focus on others. I just focus on the listening skills. Okay, Pak Taufik, I return to you. And let me stop the screen sharing.
Can we have the file later on, Prof?
Yes.
Okay, sure. Thank you. So, participants, teman-teman, silakan jika ada pertanyaan, bisa menghidupkan mic-nya dan langsung ditanyakan ke Prof. Tengku Zulfikar. Teman-teman bisa juga menanyakan gimana sih cara mendapatkan beasiswa, karena profesor ini sejak S2-nya yang double itu 2 master degree, kemudian S3-nya 3-tiganya dari beasiswa. Kemudian kira-kira hal-hal yang terkait dengan menguasai bahasa Inggris. Silakan. We have 30 minutes, 30 menit kurang lebih untuk sesi tanya jawab.
Halo, Assalamualaikum.
Waalaikumsalam. Sebutkan
ya.
Aslinya.
Ya, Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Perkenalkan, nama saya Muhammad Ma'rifuddin. Saya asal dari Sulawesi Selatan. Kemudian saat ini saya belajar di pesantren sekaligus kuliah. Saya kuliah di Semarang, di IFET. Saya jurusan IPA. Kemudian teman saya ada yang sekolah di Tanjung Pinang, beliau mengundang saya untuk gabung di webinar ini. Dan alhamdulillah syukur sekali saya mengikuti dari awal tadi penjelasannya Profesor Tengku Zulfikar, ya luar biasa, sangat memotivasi saya untuk semangat lagi belajar bahasa Inggris walaupun bukan jurusan saya. Luar biasa. Ya baik, terima kasih atas kesempatan yang diberikan kepada saya. Saya ingin bertanya kepada Profesor Tengku Zulfikar mengenai yang sudah diulas Bapak Taufik Abdal mengenai beasiswa, mungkin bisa diinformasikan sedikit, Prof. Ya, terima kasih. Dari saya sekian. Terima kasih banyak, Pak.
Ya. Siapa namanya, Mas?
Saya Ma'arif, Pak.
Marif, Mas Marif. Oke.
Ya.
Thank you, Mas Marif.
Oke, langsung aja Pak Taufik
Ya, Pak, silakan, Pak.
Oke, Pak Marif, terima kasih atas pertanyaannya. Juga luar biasa, tetap bersemangat ya.
Iya, Pak.
Walaupun bukan di prodi bahasa Inggris, tapi kepingin ini. Ini S1 sekarang. Sedang ambil S1 atau sudah S2?
Belum, Pak. Berhubung saya kemarin kan ambil program pesantren mondok, kemudian lambat saya masuk kuliah, sekarang baru semester 7. Sementara ini baru selesai PPL, Januari insya Allah KKN, Pak.
Alright. Berarti mau
Ya.
lanjut S2 nantinya ya.
Ya,
Untuk
amin,
beasiswa
amin.
S2 lebih banyak kesempatannya sebenarnya Pak Ma'arif ya. Adik Ma'arif lah ya.
Iya, Pak.
Jadi kalau ADS, Australian, sekarang AAS namanya, Australian Award Scholarship, itu every year, setiap tahun itu ada, dibuka sekitar bulan 4 atau bulan 4 sampai bulan 10 biasanya. Dia buka lah panjang, lama itu dibuka kalau AAS. Dan penerimaannya itu banyak, biasanya sekitar 300-an orang dari seluruh Indonesia. So, kalau Ma'arif, bidangnya ilmu IPA ya, pengetahuan alam, IPA, tapi bisa bahasa Inggris, itu kesempatannya justru lebih bagus, saya pikir ya. Karena juga tidak semua, apalagi kalau di pesantren, kalau misalnya sekarang AAS, dia juga punya fokus untuk teman-teman di pesantren. Itu satu, AAS, Australian Award Scholarship. Di googling aja pasti dapat. Kemudian LPDP sekarang, if you have heard the LPDP. LPDP bahkan ada mengkhususkan untuk alumni atau pengajar-pengajar di pesantren untuk dapat S2. Itu kalau LPDP justru bisa kemana-mana. Nah, Anda bisa milih ke kemana suka, ke Australia, ke Amerika, ke Inggris, to all over the world dengan ke kampus yang bagus-bagus. Ya, jadi LPDP silakan dicari LPDP. Ada AAS, ada LPDP. Kalau ke Jerman itu ada DAAD, juga open every year. Kalau ke Amerika ada Fulbright Scholarship melalui Aminef, juga dia buka setiap tahun. So many scholarship actually. Yang sudah umum, AS, LPDP, DAAD, Chevening Award itu untuk Inggris, DAAD untuk Jerman, kemudian ada Stunet, kalau dulu Stunet untuk Belanda, tapi sekarang sudah agak jarang untuk Belanda. Tapi yang masih populer adalah Fulbright, Aminef, melalui Aminef, Fulbright untuk Amerika, LPDP untuk seluruh dunia, AAS untuk Australia, DAAD untuk Jerman, Chevening Award untuk Inggris. So you can just browse every year, dia buka kesempatan untuk itu. Nah, untuk Amerika tutup kayaknya bulan kemarin itu sudah tutup untuk program-program tertentu. Ya, tapi setiap tahun dia buka. Jadi sekarang kalau misalnya selesainya Anda tahun 2021 nanti ya. Ini kan sekarang masih KKM. Ya, KPM. Yeah. Semester depan lah, taruhlah akhir tahun 2000 semester paling cepat misalnya semester genap tahun depan ya, atau semester ganjil. Yeah. So 2021, 2022 you can already plan. But one skill, one key bahasa, TOEFL atau IELTS. So no other thing that you can receive the scholarship without the language score. Yeah. Tapi memang bahasa is not all the things. I mean, tidak semua kalau udah bahasanya tinggi itu langsung keterima, tidak juga, karena ada yang teman-teman nilai IELTS atau nilai TOEFL-nya tinggi tapi tidak bagus di bidang lain, tetap tidak bisa diterima. Jadi harus diimbang both. Tapi kalau misalnya tidak cukup nilai, tidak punya tiket untuk masuk lamaran, because they receive, say for example untuk AAS 500 sudah oke, ITP. Untuk Amerika Fulbright 550 ITP. This is maybe for the first time applications. Yeah. So at least score itu harus ada sebelumnya. Ya. Jadi,
start belajar from now, sorry.
Start belajar from now. Jadi terima kasih sudah bergabung, walaupun bukan bukan mahasiswa bahasa Inggris sudah bergabung. Jangan-jangan yang bukan mahasiswa bahasa Inggris ini yang duluan berhasil nanti.
Ya,
amin.
Itu mungkin Pak Malik ya. Semoga
Iya, Pak.
sukses Malik ya.
Amin.
Sukses studinya
Terima
yang lain,
ya.
Oke.
Prof, saya mau tanya, kira-kira dalam seleksi beasiswa itu seperti AAS atau yang lain Fulbright, kira-kira kompetensi atau karakteristik apa yang paling bisa ditonjolkan oleh seorang kandidat sehingga can grab the scholarship, make them stand up?
Yang pertama memang bahasa. Ya. Kedua, setiap scholarship itu ada study objective and personal statement. Apa itu study objective? Pemahaman tentang apa yang dia ingin belajar. Misalnya dia ingin belajar tentang jurusan A, why jurusan A, apa dampak jurusan A itu terhadap dia, terhadap lingkungannya, terhadap komunitas, di community. So kalau dia punya kemampuan mempertahankan what they want or what they want to learn, itu sudah plus yang kedua. Plus yang pertama nilai skor, plus yang kedua bahasa study objektif, plus yang ketiga personal statement. Apa itu personal statement? Kemampuan si calon penerima beasiswa atau si calon pelamar beasiswa yang dia bisa memperlihatkan kapasitas dia. He can prove that he is good, he is efficient, he is effective. Dia berpotensi. Jadi kalau misalnya kita melamar Amin ya, Fulbright, itu dua dokumen itu mesti ada. Study objektif, personal statement. Kalau melamar ke AAS juga ada itu personal objektif dan personal statement dan study objektif, tapi diintegrasikan ke dalam formulir umum, formulir besarnya. Jadi di situ ada pertanyaan tentang itu, nanti kita tulis di formulir tersebut. Tapi kalau Fulbright itu kita harus submit in addition dokumen yang lain khusus untuk study objektif dan personal statement. Itu satu. Yang kedua, yang ketiga, yang keempat, kalau mahasiswa atau dosen misalnya ingin lanjut sekolah, harus bisa memperlihatkan experience doing things. Pengalaman bekerja di A, pengalaman volunteerism. Volunteer itu sangat penting. Maka teman-teman mahasiswa just do some voluntary work dengan prodi. Dan nanti ketika Anda melamar beasiswa, Anda resume Anda banyak itu. Anda CV-nya volunteer ini, volunteer itu, dan itu menjadi plus bagi pemberi beasiswa. Itu saya pikir ya.
Kegiatan ekskul yang dampak kepada masyarakat ya, Prof ya.
Nah, dampak ke masyarakat. Jadi kita pemberi beasiswa dia kepingin bahwa apa yang kita peroleh it's not only kita yang menikmati, tapi bisa dirasakan dampaknya oleh masyarakat umum. Nah, itu saya pikir. Ya.
Kami juga sudah melibatkan mahasiswa Prof mulai tahun ini untuk PKM setiap semester. Jadi durasinya 8 pertemuan, kemarin kita bikin 1 bulan sekali, cuma sekarang diperpadat. Jadi insya Allah pada semester kami minta mahasiswa ganti-gantian untuk volunteer menjadi teaching assistant.
That's good. Bagus.
Oke, yang lain Anwar, silakan tanya pakai audio.
Ini ada pertanyaan di chat nih, saya lihat nih.
Ya.
Ilham Putra nih ya.
Oke, Ilham Putra.
I have some question for you. How to remember any English word? Okay. Ya. Pak Ilham, mana Ilham? Di Ilham ya.
Putra, silakan.
Jadi memang gimana cara menghafal vocab, ini inti pertanyaannya ya. Jangan menghafal.
Udah hafal hilang.
Jangan hafal kamus. Dulu saya coba hafal kamus, jadi orang gila katanya ya. Tapi through reading, ketika you membaca, you can improve your vocabulary. In fact, kalau sekarang tes IELTS atau tes TOEFL, dia kan tidak ada tes vocabulary per se. Tes vocabulary khusus tidak ada. Vocabulary dites dalam konteks reading. Maka saya berpikir bahwa jangan menghafal vocabulary. Dulu saya waktu di pesantren, kita hafal vocabulary itu satu-satu. Ini maknanya apa, ini maknanya apa. I think that's not very good way to do. A good way to do is reading. Read more text, read more English text, and then Anda akan bisa catch the vocabulary, dan itu akan lebih Anda ingat. Ya, itu satu. Ada juga dari Nurul Anwar ini, ya, bagaimana mengubah mindset Indonesian learner yang terkadang dalam pelajaran bahasa Inggris terpengaruh lingkungan yang tidak mendukung. Ya, ini everybody problem actually. everybody's problem. Teman-teman mahasiswa pasti akan bilang bahwa nggak ada kawan bicara dan segala macam. So mungkin please do have English club. Ini mungkin ketua himpunan mahasiswanya sesama mahasiswa buat English club. We cannot expect that you can speak English all the time.
Right.
Beda dengan di pesantren. Pesantren kita memang wajib kalau nggak bicara bahasa Inggris atau bahasa Arab kena hukuman ya. Kena jalan kodok, dijemur atau apa yang saya mengalami itu.
Botak
selama 6 tahun di pesantren, that's what happened ya. Tapi di kampus tidak bisa seperti itu. But so that's why one way to do it is adalah dengan cara you make the English club, mungkin bisa difasilitasi oleh ketua prodi. Mahasiswa buat English club, and then they practice the language once a week or twice a week, depending on the time. Ya, jadi di situ akan bisa improve. And kalau bisa, I don't know bagaimana di tempat Pak Taufik, di tempat kami, saya berharap semua dosen berbicara bahasa Inggris ketika mengajar. Ya, they use English as the
medium of instruction
for communication of instruction in the classroom. Ya, jadi setidaknya mahasiswa terikuti kalau kita ngomong bahasa Inggris terus. Ya, walaupun kita nggak bisa expect 100%. In fact, in some subject, grammar atau apa agak sulit untuk mengajarkan pakai bahasa Inggris, but at least tidak full Indonesian. Nah, jadi mungkin kalau di TBI Miftah sudah diterapkan itu, that's very good. Tapi kalau belum, mungkin bisa di-encourage all the lecturer to do that. Dan itu ada kesempatan kepada mahasiswa untuk mempraktik bahasa Inggris. And no English, no service ini Pak Taufik. Jadi kalau mahasiswa saya datang ke kantor, so they don't talk English, no service. So they have to really say something in English. Jadi mungkin di Pak Taufik bisa seperti itu juga. Tulis gede-gede di papan, no English, no service. Use your English, then we will service, we serve you. Ya, jadi itu. Jadi kalau di kantor saya, kalau misalnya I ask the student with English, dia jawab dengan bahasa Indonesia, saya nggak akan urus keperluan dia. Jadi kecuali kalau saya ngomong bahasa Indonesia, they can respond in Indonesia. Oke. Itu mungkin jawaban untuk 2 pertanyaan dalam chat. Ya. Oke.
Oke, yang lain silakan. Naim? Juli?
Saya, Sir.
Oke, Rahman, please. Rahman is an alumni of Pondok Pesantren. He's teaching English conversation at a local MAN school.
Oke, good.
Assalamualaikum, Bro.
Waalaikumsalam.
Oke, perkenalkan. Saya dari Prodi Tadris Bahasa Inggris. Yang saya tanyakan nih topik yang memang sangat menarik bagi saya, karena kelemahan saya memang di listening. Di antara yang jadi penghambat saya dalam menangkap kata-kata ketika saya mendengar, baik itu video ataupun langsung, itu ketika mereka native speaker ya. Kalau native speaker mereka cenderung suka link up words. Mereka menghubungkan satu kata dengan kata yang lain. Ketika saya bicara dengan non-native speaker, saya lebih mudah memahami karena saya udah pengalaman jadi penerjemah juga beberapa kali, penerjemah orang yang berbicara di depan umum. Tapi ketika saya berhadapan dengan native, karena mereka cepat dan juga suka menghubungkan satu kata dengan kata yang lain, itu jadi kesulitan tersendiri. Mungkin apa solusi ataupun cara supaya saya bisa terbiasa dengan link up words ini? Terima kasih.
Oke, terima kasih Rahman ya. Ya, ini juga problem semua orang. As I mentioned earlier, salah satu yang membuat kesulitan pertama kita untuk listening, the native try to connect the word, the link one word to the others. Ya. Padahal kalau kita betul-betul mencoba mencerna linkage word tersebut, ada solusinya. Say for example, first of all, kata first of all. Berapa kata itu first of all? First of all, right? Orang bilang first of all. So they try to link kata terakhir dengan awal kata kedua. Ya, first ada first, maka fall. First of all. Ya. Sama dengan some others, minded, say for example. ada kata-kata ujungnya yang digabung dengan kata-kata seterusnya. That's in theory. Tapi solusi bagaimana cara ini, you need to really practice. I believe so. You need to really practice. Okay. Why some lecturer or student yang sudah ke luar negeri, dia pasti akan bertambah, listeningnya akan bertambah. Selain speaking ini, listening dia akan bertambah listening. Why? Karena memang sering berinteraksi telinganya dengan the native. So one way to do that, nggak ada cara lain kecuali Rahman dan all other students try to really listen to the native, listen to the TED Talks, listen to the animated movie. Nah, as I mentioned earlier, try to guess the context. Ini konteksnya apa sih dia ngomong, sehingga link words-nya itu sebenarnya ketika kita benar-benar menyimak, enggak link lagi. I would have been there. Would have been. No, I would have been. Yeah. So, if we, for example, sudah sering mendengar model-model kalimat seperti itu through tapes, through YouTube, through movies, saya pikir lama-kelamaan telinga kita akan kontak.
Terbiasa.
Betul, pembiasaan. Itu tidak ada cara lain, itu pembiasaan. If you study, kalau you pulang dari luar negeri, kalaupun lain tidak bertambah, listeningmu bertambah. Because you really listen to to the native. That one. The other one is when you watch the movie, don't try to look at the subtitle. Terjemahannya itu, jangan lihat terjemahannya. Kalau bisa tutup terjemahannya. Kalau misalnya tidak ada cara untuk mematikan subtitlenya. You know why? Because if you want to practice, if you want to improve language expression, itu boleh Anda melihat terjemahannya apa, ungkapannya apa. Tapi kalau Anda ingin menambahkan listeningmu, maka jangan lihat subtitle. Try to force yourself to listen. And I believe the more you listen, the better. Nah, sekarang nonton, saya lagi Trump nih lagi bermasalah pemilihan Amerika. Nonton itu komedi tentang Trump, Biden, segala macam. If you can laugh, kalau Anda bisa tertawa, mean you can guess the context. You bisa tertawa dengan komedinya Amerika, komedinya orang bule, berarti Anda sudah dapat konteks. If they laugh but you can't laugh, there's no funny with you, nggak ada lucunya ya, berarti bahasa Inggrisnya masih perlu improvement. Sense-nya masih. So Rahman, to conclude adalah do more practice, listen more, as you mentioned earlier. Kenapa kita orang Indonesia bisa kita paham? Ya karena memang kita sering mendengar dan kita tahu konteksnya. Orang bule nggak terlalu paham karena kita kadang-kadang tidak bisa menangkap konteksnya. Nah, saya pikir itu Pak Taufik, Pak Rahman ya. Rahman.
Kalau mungkin dari saya, Rahman, ada podcast seperti Scientific American, bisa di Google Scientific American, itu ada podcast, kemudian ada transkrip. Jadi bisa karena dia advanced listening audio kan, jadi bisa di-download, bisa di transkripnya juga di download, bisa bersamaan listening and reading. Yang lain coba silakan kita manfaatkan momen ini karena Profesor cukup ini ya sibuk, jadi agak silakan teman-teman before we end.
Yang lain.
We have Yuli, Naim. Naim is also teaching at the boarding school. Maybe you have some questions related to. Halo?
Tidak, Sir. Tadi sudah dijawab.
Sudah ya?
Sudah ditanyakan juga tadi. Iya, Sir.
Participants tinggal 15. Yuli? Halo?
Oh iya, Sir. Saya mau bertanya, Sir.
Ya, silakan.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Ya, perkenalkan saya Mas Nuro. Saya dari Prodi Tadris Bahasa Inggris. Jadi begini, Prof. Pak. Saya kan dari pondok juga dan sekarang saya sedang mengajar di pondok. Kemudian di pondok saya ini juga wajib menggunakan dua bahasa, bahasa Inggris dan bahasa Arab. Nah, kendalanya itu di bahasa Inggris, Pak. Nah, jadi cuman mereka lebih Nah, kemudian bahasa Inggrisnya ini mereka minim dalam menggunakan bahasa Inggris, dalam berbicara bahasa Inggris, gitu. Nah, pertanyaan saya bagaimana untuk mengajak mereka atau membiasakan mereka untuk bisa berbicara bahasa Inggris, dan juga mereka juga sedikit gimana ya, malu atau minder dan juga malas gitu dalam mempelajari bahasa Inggris, begitupun dalam berbicara bahasa Inggris, seperti itu, Pak. Hanya itu saja. Terima kasih, Pak.
Oke, Naimah, ya. Naimatul apa ini? Ustazah Naimah, ya. Ya, betul. Itu semua pesantren modern mengalami hal seperti itu. So, dia lebih, mahasiswa atau santrinya lebih banyak berbicara bahasa Arab dibandingkan bahasa Inggris. You know why? Karena ketika bahasa Arab, you can just tidak perlu pakai action bahasa Arab, ya. Karena at least sudah terbiasa dengan lafaz Arab, because we are Muslim, we recite the Quran. Bisa kita bilang limaza aina tazhab, madza ta'kul an. You can talk just with that action. Tapi kenapa bahasa Inggris agak tidak banyak diminati oleh teman-teman di santri? Ya, because you nggak bisa ngomong bahasa Inggris dengan gaya bahasa Indonesia, nggak enak kedengarannya. Where are you going? I'm going there. I study English. Oh, I want to go to the kitchen. You can't say that way. You need to really have the accents. You really need to be all out, istilahnya, ya. Itu sebenarnya yang problem bagi mahasiswa. Solusinya apa? Ustazahnya atau ustadznya ngomong bahasa Inggris terus sama mereka. I do believe ketika mereka merasa kok nyaman, enak, ya, then they will try to say something. Just sama seperti kalau kita nonton film Jackie Chan, keluar dari bioskop kan suka seolah kita juga ahli kungfu, kan? Padahal hanya terbawa dari nonton film. And that's the language. The language when you student santri mendengar Anda ngomong bahasa Inggris terus, maka mereka sepatah dua kata kadang-kadang try to catch the word, and then lama kelamaan they will be able to 3 hari semua pesantren Indonesia rather than English. Hampir semua pesantren. Ya. Jadi the other way is pakai English week for 3 days, Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday semua harus pakai bahasa Inggris. And then Friday, Saturday, Sunday semua pakai bahasa Arab. So with that way, maka I believe siswa santri mau tidak mau harus menginikan lidahnya. You see, why it's very convenient for us to talk in Arabic? Karena Arabic ya sehari-hari sudah kita baca Al-Quran, kita sholat using Arabic. So our tongue inconvenience to do that. Alhamdulillah, Rabbil Alamin, Rahman, blah, blah. So our tongue is trained to do that. But untuk English, kita kan jarang ngomong bahasa Inggris. Jadi lidah kita ini masih keluh. And that what happened to the student. They feel the tongue, the cats get the tongue, katanya, ya. Lidahnya masih keluh. It's very difficult for them to melembutkan lidah ketika berbicara bahasa Inggris. For that. So that's why one of the strategies buat English week. 3 days. The whole day, no other language except English. Maka I believe, Naimah, Ustazah Naimah, ya, the student will be able to.
Ya, insya Allah, Pak. Ya.
Yeah.
Terima kasih, Pak.
Oke, I hope itu bisa menjawab, walaupun mungkin sudah dipraktekkan Naimatul, ya, di pesantrennya, tapi ya Tapi that happened in my pesantren, my daughter dan my son juga masuk pesantren. Mereka kuat juga bahasa Arab dibandingkan bahasa Inggris. Ya. Oke.
Ya, siap. Ya, Pak.
Kembalikan.
Terima kasih, Pak.
Sama-sama.
Silakan yang lain. Sepertinya kita mau masuk sholat asar.
Oke, ya. Di
Yang lain?
Enggak ada mau asar.
Ya Pak. Oh sama timingnya Pak.
Mungkin agak cepat di situ sedikit. Ini di sini sekitar jam berapaan?
Ya. Lini mungkin dari Anambas. Halo Lini.
Hello, sir.
Yeah, please ask one question to Prof. Tengku Zulfikar.
One question. I have no idea.
Questions, ya.
Okay.
Yeah. Anything. I think kita bisa akhiri teman-teman. Ada yang mau masih mengajukan pertanyaan?
Saya Pak, boleh Pak, satu pertanyaan lagi Pak.
Oke, silakan. Iya, silakan.
Iya. Ini Prof, pertanyaan tambahan saya.
Silakan.
Prof, waktu yang ditempuh di sana berapa tahun Prof? Di Australia itu Prof?
Ya, saya pertama dapat beasiswa dari 2002 sampai 2003 pertengahan, jadi setahun setengah for my masters ya. Kemudian di Amerika 2 tahun 2004 sampai 2006. Kemudian di balik S3 ke Australia 4 tahun dari 2007 sampai 2011. So
Masya Allah.
ya 7.5 years di
Total.
di Australia dan di Amerika ya, combine. Oke.
Apakah
Panjang perjalanan Prof ya?
Gimana?
Panjang perjalanan Prof ya?
It's a bit long way ya.
Apakah ada alokasi khusus Prof untuk anak-anak dari Aceh?
Kita di Aceh kebetulan juga ada kalau untuk umum tidak ada alokasi khusus, tapi untuk di Aceh sendiri punya beasiswa pemerintah Aceh untuk diberikan kepada mahasiswa-mahasiswa atau S3 ya. Untuk berkompetisi dengan ADS atau Fulbright tidak ada khusus untuk Aceh. Jadi itu kompetisi nasional yang ada. Tapi di Aceh sendiri kita sebagai provinsi punya beasiswa untuk mahasiswa Aceh, beasiswa pemerintah Aceh. Ya. Tapi di Sumatera Selatan kan ini Ma'arif ya.
Di Sulawesi Pak, Prof.
Sulawesi Selatan, Sulawesi Selatan, oke.
Ya Prof.
Sulawesi nggak ada beasiswanya untuk Sulawesi. Tapi kan Makassar adalah beasiswanya. Pemerintah Makassar.
Saya belum saat ini belum mendapat informasinya sih, tapi saya sempat cari juga tuh informasinya seperti itu. Mungkin ada dari APBD atau dari apa gitu?
Saya dengar ada dari pemerintah daerah Sulawesi Selatan itu ada. Jadi mohon di cross check. Siapa tahu dapat.
Ya Prof. Insyaallah. Terima kasih Prof. Itu saja Prof.
Good luck ya.
Ya Prof.
Oke.
Teman-teman yang lain silakan. Sebelum kita akhiri sesi ini. Kalau di PBI Araniri Prof, ekskul mahasiswa kita apa saja Prof? Selain English Club?
Ya, mereka ada buat TOEFL Corner misalnya ya, jadi membantu membuka corner di di kota, siapa-siapa belajar TOEFL, bukan belajar TOEFL, ask questions about TOEFL ya, jadi
instrukturnya dari mahasiswa sudah.
Mahasiswa sendiri. Nah, jadi ya English Club tadi, English Club enggak, most of them voluntary work.
Voluntary work ya. I see.
Tapi gini, voluntary work sangat membantu bagi aplikasi beasiswa. Aplikasi apapun, say for example ada pertukaran pemuda atau apa, dengan ada voluntary work itu menambah ini mereka, menambah
value
CV atau resume mereka yang. Jadi mungkin teman-teman mahasiswa experience, sehingga experience itu yang bisa dijual untuk mendapatkan uang nanti.
Oke, teman-teman,
Pak Taufik, ya.
Pada azan asar kita akhiri webinar kita bersama Prof. Tengku Zulfikar PhD dari UIN Araniri. Saya ucapkan terima kasih. I thank you very much, Prof, for making it to our webinar.
Okay, you are welcome.
I hope we can foster further cooperation between TBI and PBI Araniri, Prof, in the future. Once again, thank you, Prof, for attending and becoming the speaker. And the participants, thank you once again.
Thank you for inviting.
Saya akhiri dengan hamdalah, hamdalillahirabbil alamin. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Alhamdulillahirabbil alamin.
Warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Bye.